What's up, guys? It's Geeks Corner here. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done an episode. I've had a lot of things doing, a lot of renovation at home as well. And to be honest, the news on Apple hasn't been fantastic. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a bit of a break and get some things done. But I'm also going to try and do more episodes, but not the daily news as I was trying for, because it's just not going to be practical with the current things that's going on in my life. So I am going to try and take the DJI mics out a bit more and record while I'm out and about. I actually recorded an episode this morning when I was sat in the car for a bit, and there was a few technical hiccups, so I've decided to do it now quickly whilst I'm at home. So we're just going to go ahead and just cover the tech news. So we're going to start off with Apple first of all. So first off, there's been some rumours by the YouTubers to say that there's going to be a March Apple event where Apple is expected to unveil new Macs, iPads, Apple Pencils, Magic Keyboards, and even possibly new Beats Solo headphones. But Mark Gurman on his Power On newsletter on Sunday said that actually Apple isn't going to be holding an event. Instead, they're going to be doing a press release. Now, they've done that previously. I remember a few years back, there was a 3-day press release. There was new AirPods, new iPad mini, I think it was, and a few things like that. So we may see that, so it'll be interesting to see how Apple does that. Now, sticking with Apple news, obviously, Apple has cancelled their Apple Car project according to rumours, and it says that they're now going to be moving those people over to AI side. And to be honest, that's actually really good, because while Siri may suck at the moment, Apple seems confident that they are actually in not quite the lead, but they're not as far back as people seems to think with generative AI. So it'll be interesting to see, by moving these people over, how it actually improves Siri and AI on that side for users. When you've got an Apple Car project like that, you are going to obviously learn some new things for other products. So I wholeheartedly believe that the Apple Vision Pros, the cameras in there, was probably technology that was developed whilst working on the Apple Car project. So like I said, we'll see how that goes. Now, another day, another lawsuit. Apple is actually being sued over their free 5GB iCloud storage limit. Now, the lawsuit basically says that because you get 5 free gigs of iCloud, which actually was given to users when iCloud was first launched, Apple forces you to back up your device to iCloud, and then you have to pay to have more than the 5 gigs, because 5GB isn't going to back up much these days. Now, they say that other companies, so basically Android, will allow you to back up your device to Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, and you have a choice, and obviously competitive prices, where Apple, it locks you into the iCloud. So on that aspect, it may actually stand up in court. However, where it may fall down is with regards to Apple Photos. You can actually back that up to Google Photos or Microsoft OneDrive. So it'll be interesting to see actually if a judge takes this on. Now, do I think that this should be a lawsuit? No. Do I think that Apple should increase the free 5 gigs iCloud? Yes. But if you are looking to upgrade, it's not that expensive after all anyway. I personally pay a little bit more for that extra storage, but obviously I can see why some users are upset. Now, moving on to Amazon. A rumour from Kuo Min-chi says that Amazon is going to be unveiling advanced colour e-paper technology next year for the Kindle devices. So currently you've got e-ink display, which is black and white. Because it doesn't refresh as often, the battery lasts quite a long time, especially if in standby. I've got one that's actually been in standby for a couple of weeks, and there's still plenty of battery. Now, the new colour technology, I think TCL have actually unveiled a phone about a month or two ago that's actually got that, and it is supposed to be an improvement on battery life, because, again, it's still the e-ink technology, and if that's going to be adopted into the Kindles, it'll be interesting to see that, and especially how Amazon actually prices that. Moving on to Spotify. Spotify unveiled a few months back the audiobook version of 15 free hours of listening every month for premium members. Some users weren't happy that 15 hours is not a lot when you compare it, say, to Audible, where you can actually listen to an entire book in a month. But then obviously you got on book credits. So Spotify's heard those complaints, and in the US they've actually released a new $9.99 tier, and that is going to give you access to over 200,000 audiobooks, but again with a 15-hour limit. But as a caveat to that, you're not going to have any other premium features for music. So if you do actually use Spotify, you're going to be stuck to the free, and it's going to be ad version of the music. where you can go for an extra $1 a month and you can actually have ad-free listening for the music as well as the audiobooks. So personally, I think Spotify's just put that in just to get people looking and go, do you know what, for an extra $1 I can have access to music, audiobooks and podcasts, as opposed to just podcasts and audiobooks and then ads in my music. So I just think it is a way just to push users to upgrade on there. So it'll be interesting to see it. Now, it is just a short episode, as I said. I've already recorded this today, but there were some recording issues. So I'm going to be working on that, and I've managed to shrink a 10-minute episode down. And I've also having a look at the editing, and it looks like Spotify, who previously purchased Anchor, have now teamed up with Riverside. So I'm going to be spending a bit of time with the editing on there. And like I said, hopefully we'll see a bit more regular episodes from myself. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode.